Hello everybody and welcome to Freedom Ranch Homestead. My name is Brooke and I am coming to you from inside of our wonderful yurt. So since spring is finally here, we are working on getting our garden prepared. What that entails is that we needed to buy a plow, which Chuck got from a local guy who collects them and sells them. And so we got a used one and it seemed to work pretty well. Fortunately, Christian was in town when we first hooked it up and gave it a try, and it did an amazing job. There it goes.
All right, can you back up a little bit?
Careful, Christian.
Whoa.
This is gonna be our first time using the plow. Skunky, are you just a lover? She blends with your sweatshirt very nicely. Especially her eyeballs match perfectly. Hey, Skunk. Oh, are you in heaven? And then down here is Capone, desiring to eat the skunky monkey. Let's take a look and see how this is. Still trying to get it straightened out.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, stop! So Christian was saying it was designed to do that if it hits a rock. Hopefully that is the case. That's fantastic. Like that big hole? You got it?
Yeah.
Hello, good looking.
You're tearing up my yard.
I know, but it's gonna look beautiful in a couple months. Whoa. Oh, that's why there's a big root right there, babe. There he goes. This is going to be a big garden. Oh, I hope I'm able to do it. I've never done anything like this before. Nice. Woohoo! It's cool, puppies? Yeah. What did Daddy just do to the ground?
Going to work, smiling as we're falling apart.
got it all done. Looking good, babe.
Well, we plowed it. This is some really bad soil.
Yeah.
You can see
It's just pure.
This land's been abused. They actually scraped the top of the, I think they flattened this piece out.
Yeah.
So we're basically down into soil. It's going to take a lot of work.
Oy.
But we'll just put in there and see what grows, and
Yeah.
we'll add some compost and build it up.
We're probably going to have to buy some, do you think we'll have
Manure?
to? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want manure on here.
Manure, definitely. Because the compost, my compost bin's not big enough to cover these two plots of land. One of the other things that we wanted to add on to the ranch was a few more apple trees and a few more peach trees. We have planted a number of them, as you've probably seen in a previous video, but we wanted to add just a few more to really get a lot of variation in our apples, and also just so that we had a beautiful orchard when you drove in from the road. We are planting some more trees, folks. They got blown over in the wind yesterday. But we have more
apple trees.
apples.
This is a stamen windsap apple.
Oh, interesting.
And,
Never heard of that.
And a pink lady.
A pink lady.
So I got two more
Ooh.
kinds. I wanted some different varieties.
Yes.
And that'll help with pollination
Good.
on these crossbreeds.
Yep. And then we have
Norway
the Norway spruce, which I always call the Norfolk pines.
Norwegian.
And they're my favorite. They get really big and beautiful. So Chuck already dug the hole with the auger. So I'm gonna come and just widen it a little bit with my post hole digger and then plant the sucker. First one going in is a pink lady. Digging some holes for the peach trees. Very satisfying. So we've decided to plant all 4 of the Norway spruce at the entryway instead of spreading them out on the property. And then next year we'll plant a few more up on the top up there. Norway spruce. What's that? You're gonna argue with me?
Bickering is what you call it.
Bickering? We never bicker.
Is since that's kind of a wasted area. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna, the only thing about this is you've got nice land here. We literally, could keep it mowed much easier.
Yeah.
That is a pain in the neck.
Yeah. So you think you put one down there?
If we moved one of them down there,
Okay.
I would prefer to do that.
Okay, let's try it out. Let's see how it looks.
We're not bickering?
We're not bickering.
Whoa.
Show everybody your pacing skills.
This is a pace is not a step. A step is every foot down. A pace is every other step. Okay?
I learned something new today.
1, 2, 3. Right there. And believe it or not, I could pace a good forester, which I was at one time, could go a mile through the woods, crawling through stuff and come out within just a few paces of actually measuring a mile through my pacing.
And how big was the fish that you caught?
Oh, it was large. It was a big boy. It was huge. Let me
The final decision has been made. We're doing them in a straight row, closer towards the entrance. One of the bigger things that's been happening here is that our fence posts for the horse pasture have been pounded in. There's a few more left to do, and especially around the round pen. But for the most part, he is almost done. We decided not to put the posts in ourselves. We were going to do it with an auger, and we realized that it was going to take us forever. And so, and we didn't really want to buy a post pounder piece of equipment. What they do is they first lay out the fence posts where they are going to be pounded in, and then they take each one, measure 8 feet in between, and then pound them down. And it's a pretty noisy process. I don't know how they do it all day long, but we're grateful that they have done it. One of the unfortunate parts of the whole process is that he accidentally pounded into our fiber line. So our internet went down, which, you know, kind of put the kids in a tizzy. It was frantic, you know, going back old school, having to read a book was very challenging for them. We did have the repairman come the next day. Rocky, he did an amazing job. Unfortunately, it took him pretty much the whole day to get it spliced up, but we were able to get our internet back on. There's the finished job. So that's where he spliced it together.
There's 2 splices. There's one here.
Yeah, don't mess it up, baby.
Oh, I know, I'm not.
And then there's one there. And we finally have internet again, 24 hours later. One of the other pieces of equipment that Chuck had to purchase in order for us to start our garden was a rototiller. And he's cleaning it up so we can put it on the tractor today and till the garden up.
Yep.
And it's looking pretty new, huh?
Looks like fairly limited use. The paint's still mostly on in here. This rust is very common. As soon as you shine it up by running it a little bit, it'll turn. Those will be real shiny when we're done today. And then, but what I'm looking at is just for the wear. I don't see a lot of wear on the blades themselves. You see they're still really sharp, and they're not chipped up like they hit a bunch of rocks.
Good.
So I think this is a good unit.
Yay.
But we will find out.
Yes, let's put it to use today.
Yep.
So he and I finally had a little bit of time the other day to get it hooked on, which was a little challenging because where he had it stored was on a slope. And so we couldn't quite get everything lined up. So we had to move it out into the driveway and then put it on there. It's a great used piece of equipment. Chuck is very pleased with it, and it did an incredible job tilling up the ground that we had plowed a couple weeks prior. We got one side on. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Gabe just made it home from school in time to help us out.
Grab the PTO.
He's a lucky man.
Good way to pinch fingers. There we go.
Why do they make these so challenging? You couldn't do this if you were just one person.
Yeah, I've done it a bunch of times. I promise. It's very frustrating, but it can be done.
The first hangout in the hammock for the season while Dad works away. Gabe lounges.
What's new?
I know. He said, "What's new?" Okay, let's see how this sucker works. Oh yeah. How's the soil, Gabe?
Like dirt.
Like dirt? It needs a little love though.
Well, maybe it was fate when you walked in the door. I could have sworn I've seen your face before. So glad that you said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to hold. All those little moments, the bites you didn't catch me looking over your shoulder, just at the right time. Those little moments all led me to you. Only God knew about all those little moments.
Just finished up tilling our garden. This is the upper garden, and the soil looks really bad, and I think it's gonna need a lot of work, but it's a little better than I thought.
Looks a lot better. Chuck is trimming up some of the limbs so that when we run the tractor, it's not as hard to get through. Much nicer, very soft. That feels so good, it's so cool. No wonder the piggies love it. Once we had tilled up the dirt, we realized that it really wasn't as in bad of a condition as we thought it was. It definitely still needs a lot of TLC. We're gonna try and get it limed and hopefully buy some manure to be able to spread in there. And I have started composting. So I don't have a huge amount of compost yet, but it could be something that could help at least get the soil nice and rich in nutrients. We tried when we lived in Raleigh to start a garden, but unfortunately we had trees everywhere in our backyard, so nothing grew there. So this will definitely be my first attempt at it. I'm hoping we'll be successful and have lots of yummy food to eat, but only time will tell. So once again, we just want to thank you so much for following along. I'll let you go. Be on the lookout for the next video coming up sometime next week, okay? Take care.